witches.
Hi, hello. Welcome back to another episode where we start a brand new book.
A new book, yay.
It's called Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher.
And the first thing I wrote about this book had nothing to do with the story. I literally wrote, first off, how gorgeous is this fucking book? Because the cover art is gorgeous. It's got green sprayed edges. I don't know if yours does or not. Mine has green sprayed
It
edges.
does.
And then that's just the dust jacket. The fucking actual book has like silver stamping and a quote. And then the end pages.
Yeah,
What?
they're gorgeous.
It's beautiful. This book is just gorgeous. So I was really excited about it.
I do like that the beginning of the book, well, not even just the beginning of the book, but like this section right here
Yeah.
shows essentially a rattlesnake. Like we come to find out like what kind of snake this is. It's like an adder snake or something.
Well, and she later talks about like this exact drawing
Yeah.
in the first
Um
section of the book.
and it's like the deity basically, like Saint
Yeah.
Adder. Um or I don't know like the adder snake, like what his actual name was or is or whatever, but
Yeah.
basically it's all about poison, which I think is why it's
And
green.
yeah, and it's a patron saint of poisoners. So this is a Snow White retelling, right?
Mhm.
Um, so I think I was thinking like poison apple. Maybe that's why it's green.
Well, it
Plus,
does have an apple on the top,
yeah, it has
on the
apple on
front.
the cover, which the episode artwork, I did that earlier today and I put an apple and a snake on there because I was trying to stay on brand.
There you go.
I'm not gonna
S
lie, I read the first 6 chapters or 5 chapters so fast. This book sucked me in from the very first sentence, which is really hard to do for me these days because I've read so many books, and that's not me trying to flex. That's just a fact. Like, oh, it's
yeah.
harder for me to get into a new book sometimes. But literally, the first sentence of this book is I had just taken poison when the king arrived to inform me that he had murdered his wife. Well, I need to know more.
Right, it's like one of those, "What the fuck? Who are
Yeah.
you?
Right. Like, what the fuck
Why
is
is the king
happening?
coming to see you?" Yeah, like, all these
Yeah.
things.
Um,
This will probably be a pretty short
yeah.
episode, um,
Yes.
just based on that we're starting a new book and the world building and
Yeah. The main thing that I wrote about the first chapter was number one, I like her already. She's 34 years old or 35 years old. So this main character is older than I am, which never happens. Main characters of books are always young. Um, and she's self-deprecating and dark humor and all of the things that I enjoy.
she's realistic. Like,
Yeah, she's relatable. I mean,
everybody
I
around
too
her,
make dark humor, morbid death jokes all the time. Like,
that's how I survive in this world.
right.
Um, the what I do really like about this whole, like, idea or this, like, retelling is, that it leaves quite a few open-ended, like, what ifs, like, what if this is gonna happen?
Yeah.
So a couple of my what ifs that I got from, like, the first chapter is so we essentially find out she is somebody who is, um, considered a healer, but her focus is on poisons. Um, she's got a very long history of being interested in poisons, and she just let it consumes her. And she tests it before she tests it on anybody else, which is like kind of unheard of. It's like
Yeah.
just the idea of testing it on like poison on you before you give it to other people is like, what the fuck?
And
Um,
using poison as an antidote to
yeah,
poison.
like the different properties of it. And there's like a story later on, we'll find out like the kind of idea about it. but, like, you don't really realize it, and so, basically, the king comes in to say, "Snow, my daughter is dying. She has been poisoned, I believe. I think, like, no amount of healers in the entire kingdom can help. I need your expertise. Like, your father, who is a merchant, spoke highly of you over a year ago. It stuck with me. Here I am."
Yeah.
Um And so it's like, okay, so we don't know how old Snow is. We don't know any of that. But like, you know how Snow in like the Snow White story, like the Prince Charming comes out of nowhere and like kisses her and it's like, oh, the spell is broken. Well, what if Anya what if this could be like a lesbian retelling of Snow White? Like what if she's the Prince Charming?
I would be super into that. That would make my little gay heart very happy in this Valentine's month. Um, I like that a lot. I
Cuz it's
don't
the
think that's
way
where it's gonna go,
it's probably not, but like so Anya, who is, which I
especially
would
because 'cause
assume
isn't Snow also, like, a child?
we don't know.
That's true, I guess. We just know it's the
We just
king's daughter.
yeah, we just know it's the king's daughter. We do know that Snow had a sister and a mother. The mother had something happened to where the mother essentially was carving out the sister's heart. She died from that, and the king murdered his wife because she was attempting to murder their daughter.
Yep.
So, um, and we found that out. So we don't exactly know how old she is, but she's old enough. And she was like sent away somewhere to for schooling or something like that. Anyways, um, or because we usually have like the sorceress or somebody that is very good with potion making, poisons, all of
Mhm.
that. What if like the evil witch sorcerer kind of person is actually supposed to be like Anya in this story? And like what if it's a kind of like how Disney redid the live action Maleficent, like how they actually
Right,
made
yeah.
her like human with feelings. Like they humanized her. So like what if Anya is the humanized version of the evil queen?
Yeah, so something we don't know at this point in the book, but is in the blurb, so I feel okay saying it, is that there is, like, a magical realm through the mirror, and I'm wondering it's in the blurb. I read the blurb on the book, and it's in the blurb.
The blurb on the book? Like
Yeah,
on the
on
dust
the
jacket?
yeah.
Oh, I read that so long ago.
I'm not giving things away, and it's on the front of the book. So there's, like, a magic mirror, and there's, like, a realm through the mirror, and I'm wondering if it's, like, a mirror realm? I mean, obviously, it's through a
Oh,
mirror, but you know what I mean? Like, Anya is good in this realm, but what if in the other realm she is the evil queen?
yeah.
Or you know what I mean?
Yeah, kinda
Um,
like through the looking glass.
yeah,
Um, I like that idea. I also wonder too if, like, that's where Hemlock came from
yeah.
and, like, there's no
That's why
poison
there's no
correct
cure because
because it's not of this realm.
yeah.
So we do find out that one of the biggest or one of the biggest, I guess, circumstances that led to Anya being so obsessed with poisons is as a child, she was 11, her younger sister, what's her younger sister's name?
Isabel?
Isabel. I wanted to call her like Isla or something like that. Isabel. Um, and her went to a country estate that her aunt lovingly cares for when like it wasn't like a plague or anything, but like the air was not good enough to breathe at that time. So they were sent away
Yeah.
to like the countryside. And while there, her cousin was basically showing them around the location and area. And
And he was
he
a
essentially
typical boy.
yeah, and he's 13, he's a couple of years older than them, and he obviously antagonized them from being from the city. He's like, "Oh, I bet you don't know what this is," and it's like a fucking goat. "I bet you don't know what this is," and it's like something that farmers would use. Are you good?
No, I you just got, like it broke up and I couldn't understand what you said, but
Yeah. Let me okay. Okay, everything's good that I can
Yeah.
see.
No, you're
Um,
good.
so basically he goes to great lengths to antagonize them about like where they came from. So like it's basically city versus farmer. And he goes up to a little plant, and this plant has like some flowers at the top, and when he rips it out, it kind of resembles a carrot is what it is. It's got like a knobby vegetable, root vegetable. And he is essentially saying like, "Oh, I bet you don't know what this is." And like some of them were like, "Oh, it's this, right?" No. Okay. And Anya goes, "That's kind of well, she didn't say it was like a carrot, but she said it resembles a carrot." And so he basically dusted like wiped off some of the dirt and then ate it, and he was dead real quick.
2 hours later, yep. And so this is in chapter 2, and the only thing I said about chapter 2 was we love a good origin story, knowing that we were gonna talk about it further. But basically that, because he ate that poisoned hemlock,
Her like
that's
autistic obsession
yeah.
came to be.
Yeah, and she, like, started reading, and because she was finally embracing some kind of learning, her tutor embraced it as well and helped her learn.
Yeah, because I guess she was among the worst, not necessarily the worst of the students, but the students that like just didn't want to learn.
Yeah,
Um, so
and so this kind of fostered that love of learning in her. But also, like, have you ever seen hemlock, like, the flower of hemlock?
mhm.
It looks just like Queen Anne's lace, which I used to play with as a child all the time. And now looking back, I'm like, I wouldn't have known. Like, because even
Yeah,
the flower of hemlock can make you sick if you ingest it. Not that
and
I
like
was
if you
eating
touch
Queen
it,
Anne's lace, but like
yeah,
I used to
like if
pick
you
them all the
touched it,
time.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like if you touched it, if you like wiped your face, like kids are notoriously dirty.
Yeah.
They're very
And I was a little
germy.
country bumpkin. Like I was running around barefoot in the creek, like picking the
I
Queen Anne's
peed all by
lace.
the pastures.
Honestly though, like I was a little country bumpkin growing up.
So
So,
things like that. Are kind of insane to think about too. When you go back to it, like
yeah.
there's a person on TikTok who she is the cutest woman ever. She is a black content creator. She is this cute little whimsical fairy-esque kind of like woman, and she's got this like she's got a lisp, and I love it so much.
I think I
And
know who you're
she
talking about.
yeah, and I think she's in like Northeast America area maybe, but she goes, "Welcome to America's 13th favorite game show, Poison or Snack, where we learn if this is a poison or a snack."
Yeah.
And she like sings like this cute little tune with it, and then she like describes it, and then she like asks the viewers like, "Which one do you think is poison or a snack?" And then she will reveal the answer and like explain what happens if you're and I'm like, "God, I don't know what it is about a, like, character or, like, those videos. I gobble it up. I watch one video, I gotta watch 15 more.
I
But
don't know.
she kinda gives me Anya vibes.
I like that. Sorry, I
Do
keep
you
getting
kinda
distracted because there are 2 little boys riding, like, razor scooters up and down the sidewalk because it's
oh,
finally warm enough to go outside without 17 layers, and they're cracking me up. Anyway,
I was gonna say, it's definitely, like, 70 degrees here today, and it's raining now.
it's in the 50s here today, which is just, like it feels like summer because it's been so fucking
I
cold.
know, we got, like, a cold we had a really bad cold snap, and then we got like a heat wave. I swear to God, it was like a heat wave, and it was like 60 degrees, and everyone's like, "It's beautiful. I want to be outside." But then, because where I work, it's closer to the coast than where some other people work or live, and I like that morning I had driven northern area for an appointment, and it was like 10 degrees warmer than it was down by where I work. And I was outside walking, my property, and all of a sudden I just see, uh, what is it? I just see, like, a sunlight area, and I was like, "Oh, that would be so wonderful just to stand here for a little bit and to get, like, some sun." So I, like, went over and stood there, and I was just, like, basking in the glory that is the sun and warmth, and then all of a sudden, a cloud goes over, and it, like, went away, and then the blast of cold wind hit, and I was like, "Oh, it's cold."
And now I gotta get inside.
I know, and Will goes, we could have gone because I made a comment about, like, how nice it was, we should go to the beach and walk, and he's like, "Well, we could have gone to the beach to walk, but, like, also, I probably would have had to bundle up real much or, like, a lot." I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So it's a little
coast
colder
wind."
at the coast, yeah.
Yeah, that coast wind's a little chilly, so, if you ever see somebody walking by in, like, sweatpants and a shirt and you're like, "It's 70 degrees," like, I
Just
tell
mind
you
your
what,
business.
you go out there and you be like, "Oh, damn, that wind is cold," and it's like 20 degrees colder than what the weather says, so the weather doesn't make
Oh
any
my
sense
goodness.
anywhere I go, apparently, so there's that. Anyways, sorry, I skipped to the 2nd chapter. I do think, we do kinda find out a little bit more about the king too and his position and how he, like, I guess, came to be. So, apparently, there
Yeah.
was a king before him that was crazy. I would
Yep.
say bipolar because he would have days of, like, generosity and, like, kindness, and all of a
And,
sudden,
like,
he'd be like,
super paranoid.
"Yeah." And then all of a sudden, he'd be, like, executing people because he believes that they're part of a grand scheme of uprooting him. And the king now was his nephew. So, do we even have a name for him yet?
For the king?
Yeah, the I don't think so because we
I
we
don't
we do know the older king's name was Bastion. So Bastion was a paranoid old kook who executed a lot of people believing that they had some grand scheme of uprooting him. Um, and some believe that it could have been his nephew who could be like the head of it, but then like it's the back and forth. Like one minute they're fine, the next like he's threatening to kill them. Um, and then like all of a sudden he just died of poison.
Yep.
And he had a mistress, so they made an so they said something about mistress, and it was like, yes, and he died, much to his mistress's dismay or something like that. And then it made a comment about the king quickly rose to power after. I wonder if the king himself is becoming a victim of the mistress. So the mistress is maybe that is the evil witch kind of person. Like, let me poison everybody so that I can get the power. And the fact that like this person was like poisoned earlier than expected or planned or whatever, it, like, derailed her idea and her plans. And, like,
Maybe.
the king's wife went crazy because of something the mistress did?
Could be because of some type of poison or something.
Yeah, because of something, so Bastion died under poison effects. No one knows how or why. Those are my theories, though.
Yeah. I don't know. Um, chapter 3 is literally
I'd say it's a filler episode.
yeah, she goes with her sister Isabel to get new clothes because her sister's like, "You can't
She's
wear
a
your
country
rags."
bumpkin.
Yeah. She's like, "You can't wear your rags to the king's estate." So, that's really all chapter 3 is just a shopping trip.
Yeah, so we learn a little bit more about, like, why she believes, um, she doesn't need to dress like this
Yeah.
or why she has to do all of these things, and we find out that Isabel is married and she's got sisters, and I'm going to think the other one's name is Caroline because there is a Caroline listed somewhere, but basically, if she doesn't succeed or if she doesn't impress anybody, it could like, ruin her sister's family's lives because of how interconnected those 2 are with
Yeah.
the crown and her father's, like, merchant life. So and it's really crazy to think that one person can fuck up multiple
Everybody's life.
generations. And, like, back in that time, like, nowadays, you don't even think about it. You're like, "Oh, shit, like, I gotta go to work." Like, on the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things, it's not very common
Yep.
that you notice. We're also not in the, inner circle of big, rich groups. We wouldn't be here if we were. Um, but the back then, like, this was so commonplace that it's just
Yeah.
crazy. Did I squeak? Was that me?
I don't know what that was.
That was weird. I think
Oh,
that came
that's
out of my
weird.
throat. I've been wheezing, so, like,
Probably then.
that's why I think it's a wheeze. I've been wheezing real bad. Um, the yellow season is coming
Yeah.
quickly to South Carolina, and I feel it in my bones.
Okay. Chapter 4. So this chapter starts out with her having a client when she gets home. There's a client at her home who's a brother. Oh, he was at a lotus smoke den for too long. And so he's been poisoned basically because, or overdosed. And this is what she uses the adder venom to, um, cure. So she like gives them the adder venom, which is supposed to make their heart rate stronger. Um,
It's like, what is that stuff called when you overdose on heroin?
like Narcan?
Narcan. It's like Narcan,
Yeah. Um, but also
except for you gotta snort
sorry,
it.
something else just popped up in my head. Um, about chapter 3. The other thing I think that was important about chapter 3 is that she learns, or is that this chapter? She has guards following her around in chapter 3. She has
That's
2
this chapter.
king guards. And so now in this chapter, one of them is still with her, and she learns in this chapter that she doesn't have guards because they're worried she's going to run away, which is what she's been thinking. She has guards because they're worried someone is going to make an attempt on her life because they don't want her to heal the princess.
Like, yeah, if there's
Um,
something malicious happening.
yeah. But she's there trying to heal this person. And there's a quote on page 42. And because she's basically like, this is pointless. This man is dead, but I have to try. And the quote is, sometimes you get a miracle. Mostly you don't, but you still have to make space for the miracle to happen just in case. Which I really liked that. Um, so she
Are you gonna
tries.
go highlight that?
I did. um, but it doesn't work. The man dies.
And that's what being a nurse is all about, honestly. I mean, I get it, she's a healer, but that's like
Yeah.
she's like a first responder in a way.
Well, and the other thing about this situation that made me like, I don't know, that I wrote something down about or commented on was that one of her guards, his name is Aaron, and he says he was a criminal because lotus smoke dens are illegal. It's like an illicit drug. Um, and she was like, yeah, he was a criminal, but smoking lotus isn't a capital crime. And the people who run the dens are the criminals, and they never end up here, which is such a real thing because everybody gives addicts such a hard time. Addiction is a disease. I'm not going to debate it. It's not a question. That's not the topic of this discussion. The topic of this discussion is the people with an addiction are not the problem. The problem
It's the
are the
people
people
running it.
providing the drugs and feeding their addiction. Those people are the problem. And that's basically what my point was about that
And that's
little.
what she basically says, like, yeah,
Yeah.
but circumstances led him to this life, not the other way around. If it wasn't such a problem or anything, then here we are.
Yeah.
But what do
That's
we know?
basically all of chapter 4.
I tell you what, your life changes when you see somebody who's overdosed on the ground.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I never have, so, like, I
but
fortunately have
like,
never had to deal with that, but
yeah. I just remember working for child services and like this was like the start of like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is not good for my mental health. Uh, was when I went out and investigated this house and I, like, had concerns, but I didn't have anything concrete enough to, like, actually do anything about it, and then I was on call that coming weekend, and then I got a call saying that there was an emergency, and I had to go to this house, and I was like, "That house? Like, I've been there, like, what?" And it's one of those things where you're just like, "I can't pinpoint, like, there's nothing physically I can do right now to, like, see that there is a problem." Uh, and then you walk in and you just see, like, a white sheet,
oh,
and then they pull it back, and I look at her, and I was like, "Okay, where's the dad?" "He's in jail because mom put him in there for false claims or, like, or alleged abuse or, like, domestic abuse or something like that." And I was like, "Okay, how did we get here?" Ex-boyfriend came over for a visit and brought stuff with him, and we have a warrant for him because, like, he's the reason this
right.
mom got addicted to heroin in the first place. She was clean for 2 years, and then he comes over with it, and she got tempted, and then that was the end. I took 2 screaming kids in my arms, stepped over her dead body because that was the only way I could get out of the house with 2 kids in my hand, and that was it. So I was like,
It's
"Yeah,
crazy.
this is, like, the end. I don't think I wanna do this part anymore."
Yeah, it's
Like,
traumatizing.
I'd rather be on the, like, investigation about, like, what led to this instead of, like, looking at these kids saying everything's gonna be alright when in fact their mother is dead on the floor in the living room. Like,
Yeah. Mm-mm.
how can you look at a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old and tell them everything is going to be fine when in fact it is going to be the most traumatizing part of their entire fucking life?
Yeah, like, their whole life has just changed, and you can't promise that everything's gonna be fine because you don't know what family they're gonna end up with or
Mhm.
what's gonna happen next, or, like, it's awful.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, well, before they can even be placed, you have to investigate the family who is available to take them. They have to pass drug tests now. They have to do it all. And then if it comes back that they can't take them, then you're placing them in foster care, and you don't know when they're going to be out of foster care. So you and a few other people are taking shifts babysitting this kid at an office until you can find a place to place them.
Yeah, it's awful.
So when people, fight about abortion, not saying this kid deserved to, like, not see life, but I'm also saying this kid did not deserve to have this type of life.
Right,
And, like, certain circumstances that led them to this kinda life could have been prevented,
right.
but, like, if the mom or dad or whoever didn't have the means to do it, lived in an area that couldn't do it, or whatever the case is, then that's abuse in and of itself.
Mhm. Systematic abuse. It's just it's a whole
And
hot mess.
yeah, and that's why I'm pro-choice. Because that
Same.
might not be what I want to do. It might not be what I plan to do, but it is definitely an option that needs to be available.
Yep, because it's nobody else's business. But, I just realized that it's actually chapter 5 where we learn that or where Anya learns that, um, the guards are there for her protection, um, and that the king is concerned that if people find out what her mission is, that she will get potentially threatened. Um, and then they start their journey.
I do like in chapter 5, this, like, it just, like, solidifies the kind of main character we have.
Yeah,
Like, she's smart, she's studious, she's, like, a badass in her own way, but hell, she is anxiety-ridden the entire time.
she really is, and valid. Like, traveling sucks in modern times. I can't imagine traveling in a fucking caravan of horses in the desert. Or no, not the desert. Yes, the desert?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the desert. Sorry, I'm reading 2 books at once because that's what I do, and I was like, "Wait, is this one with the desert?"
I do wish there was, like, a map to look at because not that she, like, didn't
Yeah.
describe it well, and, like, maybe it's just because I'm tired, um, but the way she described it, it's essentially like, what really confused me, so I get it, it's supposed to be a hand, like, the area of the 4 saints is supposed to be, like, the hand flipping somebody off, but, like, is it like this? Is it like this? Is there
You're
2
right.
peninsulas, 1 peninsula? Where's the desert? Is the desert down here and this is, like, the, like, oceany area? Like, is this where she lives by the thumb? Like,
Try to look it up and see if there is a
yeah,
map
it's
anywhere.
I just got real confused, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
That's not right. The only one I can find is a fan-made map, and it's not correct. What about this one? I don't know, that's a different book. No, I can't find one, but that is I would also like to see a map because yeah.
Yeah,
So one thing that they talk about while they're on this travel is because they're in the desert, there's not a lot of, like, solid ground or places to bury people, like, there's not a lot of space for burial grounds, so they do spirit houses instead, which I am actually obsessed with this idea. I really like this idea
it's kinda
for an
like,
alternative to burial.
instead of, like, burying, it's kinda like, replanting a tree sorta thing.
Yeah, or, like, scattering ashes kind of vibes. Um, so they basically are birdhouses, and you put their ashes in the birdhouse, um, and eventually they, like, all blow away, but the family is in mourning as long as the ashes are still in the birdhouse. And I just thought that was a really cool, um, concept. Anyway.
I like the idea. It's like reuse, reduce, recycle.
You right?
It gives them a place to do their own thing, but also
And, like, I think I'm so against the modern burial process. Like, we
mhm.
pump so many chemicals into these bodies and then put them in fiberglass coffins that are not gonna decompose and put them in the ground. And first of all, there are billions of people on this planet. We do not have enough space to bury billions of people.
Charleston used to, get, like, giant tombs, like, just one giant coffin lined s thing, and then that's where you would be placed, you and
Yeah.
everybody else on the fam.
Yeah, like, it's just ugh, I don't know, ugh. This just seems like a more eco-friendly alternative. Um, I didn't really write much else. We learn, like we said, a little bit more about our character. She's kind of grouchy. She's um not liking to be on this traveling, but there's a part at the very end of the chapter where she's talking about her snake because she has a chime adder that she keeps to, like, harvest the venom from for her antidotes. And obviously she brought that with her because she can't just ask someone to take care of her snake because that's not
Mhm.
really a common pet at the time. Um, and she to harvest her, venom, she, like, puts a board in her.
Like, blocks herself from him.
Yeah, and it bites the board twice, and she's like, "I felt a pang of sympathy. I too would have liked to bite something, and I didn't know who was responsible." And I'm like, relatable, because I also would like to bite people occasionally.
The same. I
So,
feel like the world would be a much better place if we could just have, like, a 5-minute timeout box, like, where you could just
yeah,
beat the shit out of somebody like you would in hockey.
yeah, like rage rooms, but with the actual object of our rage in the room.
Mhm. Yeah, because pictures, like, putting in a piece of picture or, like, a picture on, like, the object is not enough.
That's not. It's just not. But that is the end of chapter 5, and that's basically all I had written about this section.
Yeah. Um, I like the idea of what's happening, and I'm interested to see what like, Snow White is probably one of my least favorite, if not the most hated Disney princess story, all of the above
Yeah, I don't
person
like
for
the
me.
Disney version a whole lot. I do like the story of Snow White in some of the twisted tales. I think it can be well done. The Disney version is a little too happy for me. But I think that's because it was made in like the 40s and
Yeah,
that was what you wanted in a children's movie then.
honestly, though. So,
So,
well, I guess we'll figure out what happens in the next episode. Until next time.
bye.